Welcome to Ladies Who Jazz, where each month I interview and feature a different female jazz musician. Today we have the awesome Angeleisha Rodgers, who plays trumpet. Angeleisha, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.
Awesome. Thank you. Yeah, absolutely. Can you tell us how you got started playing jazz?
Okay. I actually started music. My musical background is deeply rooted in the church. My grandfather was a minister, my grandmother as well. And, music is just such a big part of that culture. So when I first started playing trumpet, I was playing in the church. And what actually got me involved in trumpet, or interested about it, we went to a Church of God in Christ conference in Memphis, Tennessee. And it's customary that they open the convention with a midnight musical. So this particular year, it was an older lady. I never knew her name, but it was an older lady, and she was playing the hymn, I'll Fly Away, on trumpet. And I was just like, I got to have one of those. I have to have it. So that's kind of how I started, and just playing, study with the local band director in our town. I guess kind of as things progressed, I started learning about jazz and, Miles Davis and all those type of things. And it was like, hey, this is something I could do. It's just kind of, I heard a lot of the similarities between that and gospel. And it was something that I was interested in. So just started studying, and things kind of went from there.
Who are your top 3 jazz influences and why?
Okay, so I would definitely say Miles Davis. Miles is one of the first musicians that I really checked out musically, partially because his music is easy to digest. I mean, he has, different stages of Miles, of course, but a lot of his stuff is really easy on the ears. It's really lyrical, so it's easier to follow melodically, and it was like a lot of his stuff kind of made sense to me. Of course, I'm an Ellington fan. Love Ellington. I mean, he's classic. He's timeless. His stuff, same thing. Very digestible music, strong rhythm. It's just something I kind of identify with. Probably Clifford Brown would be next. He was a trumpet player that I learned more about when I was in college. Because he's more sophisticated. So I had to become more sophisticated in order to follow him. But I have a great appreciation for him and his skill. Being so young, it's like, wow.
What do you think is happening in jazz right now that excites you?
The top thing that came to my mind when you said that was a lot of things that's going on in education. I'm really excited to see that people are really sharing this music and the culture of it with kids. I work with a program at Lincoln Center Middle School Jazz Academy. And I mean, it's awesome. And it's awesome to see the hunger and the passion and the drive in these kids, because it was difficult for me to understand or to learn that a lot of children don't know anything about music. Like some of these children, they don't know who Duke Ellington is. And in my mind, it's like, how do you not know what? I mean, even if all you know is Duke Ellington played the piano, like, how do you not know that much? So I really appreciate a lot of the efforts that a lot of music educators are going, that they're doing to educate the children, because it's very important.
Have you faced any challenges doing what you do or to continue what you do, and how have you overcome them?
Oh, of course. I'm not from here. I'm from down south, Virginia, North Carolina. I spent a lot of time in both places. And one of the biggest things that I dealt with coming up here to New York, and am still dealing with, is just the culture difference and just the difference in the way of life. And so I tell people all the time, I mean, it's a struggle to open your eyes in the morning sometimes in New York. It's like, whoa, what am I doing here? But you have to do it. Yeah. And it's one of those things that internally is like, I got to do this. I guess the best way I can say it is, I've seen the prize. I know the prize. I know ultimately where I'm going. I know ultimately what I want. And I don't know how I'm going to get there. I don't know when. I don't know the means in which I'm going to get there. But it's something that's so strong and so prevalent that even through the times where you just got to scream and cry and jump and, throw a tantrum in the mirror, you got to keep going.
Totally.
Yeah. So that would be the thing that keeps me on the horn. That would be the thing that keeps me waking up every morning and just just thriving. Life is hard.
True that,
but,
true that.
Yeah, but you kind of have to have a goal. You have to have a compass. You have to know which direction. And I think that if you do have that, it's comforting because you already know, hey, this looks impossible, but it has to change because I've seen the glimpse of the outcome.
As someone who is so experienced in the form, how do you challenge yourself to grow? Just
the basic things. You go through stages where you're learning, and when you're first learning with something, you grow in big steps because you don't know anything. So you're growing in big steps. Oh, I learned 3 notes. Yes, I can breathe. Up now I learned 3, and it's big steps, and your tone and all of these different elements. But then after a while, the rate of growth seems like it slows down. Because you learn more, you got the basics, and it's like, I don't understand. Then it becomes important about the quality of what you learn to determine how you move. So it's things that I study right now about breathing, hand placement on the horn, time, just simple things that take you from here to here, but you have to pay attention to it and just, use with detail.
What are you doing presently, and what do you have coming up?
Well, presently, as I said, I'm doing a lot of work in education, teaching. Like I said, jazz at Lincoln Center. I also do some teaching at some schools, like after-school programs and such. So that's important to me, and I love it, and it teaches me a lot. The kids keep me humble, and they keep me growing and developing. So that's a good thing. Musically, I'm playing around a lot. I kind of slowed down for a little while, so I'm excited to be picking back up. I'm doing different sessions. I have some stuff coming up this weekend. It's a group of ladies out of Seattle that they're doing a documentary on lady musicians and big bands, like the history.
Cool.
So I'll be hosting a jam session for an event that they're sponsoring, and so just playing and getting things in. And it's a big goal of mine to do some recording of my own stuff before this year is out. Like, I'm way overdue for that. So doing a lot of writing and working on that too.
Can you please share a musical concept with the audience that you think is really important for musicians to have under their fingers and just as their musical knowledge?
Biggest thing that came to my mind is breathing. First thing that came to my mind. As horn players and brass players especially, they teach you, more air. You got to be strong. And that's kind of true to a point. But what I think is the real basis of that is not necessarily more air, it's smart air. So using the direction, understanding the coordination between your body and how it naturally breathes, and how you basically use your horn as an amplification of that, extension of that, and learning, just that natural breathing pattern. And it's not necessarily like you're working harder using pressure and tension. You're just allowing the body to do its natural function, So that's definitely something that I think is so important. Just learning how your airstream works and breathing based on that, playing based on that. And it just works, period, in life, talking, anything.
What advice do you have for the girls and ladies out there who would like to get started playing jazz?
Do it. Jump out there. When I was a kid, my brother and my cousins and I, we used to laugh so hard at my grandfather because, we'd be like, man, this old man just walking around saying all this little silly stuff, and he want us to what in the world? But so often, I talk about him all the time because a lot of those little things that he says, I understand now. I used to come, hey, Papa, so-and-so said something to me at school. Keep on living. And I remember he would always tell, don't be half-stepping. Well, you don't half-step. Do it or don't do it, And I brought that up to say that I think one of the biggest things that hold us back in anything, whether it's music, whether you want to be a doctor, whether you want to write, whether it's going to school the next day, whatever it is, usually it's doubt. Or the fear of thinking, if I do this, it might not turn out this way. Or if I do it, somebody else might come along and do it better than me. So you do what you do. You have something in you that's specific and unique to who you are. And that's why you are the only one who can do it. I'm not the best trumpet player on 2 feet, but I study and I do what's given to me, my gift. and that's what makes a difference. So that would be the advice that I give to people.
I've read that you've done some musicology research on Clora Bryant, who was the trumpet player who was a prodigy student of Dizzy Gillespie and was the first female musician to play with Charlie Parker. Can you talk a little bit about your research and about her?
Yes. So that was a project that I did when I was in grad school, and it came about basically, I was going through some challenges and some sort of trying to find myself. So I told myself, I was like, you know what? Nothing's new under the sun. It's got to be a woman out there that has done this. And I don't know about her yet, but I'm going to find her. So I got to Google and I started searching it. And her photo came up of an album that she did, Gal with the Horn. So her only solo album. And I'm like, wow, this lady's beautiful. Like, let me find out more about her. So I found her name, and she has a portion in a book that she wrote on the Central Avenue jazz scene, which is basically, I guess you can kind of compare it to the Harlem Renaissance movement here in the East Coast, but it was over on the West Coast and much later in time. And she was a part of that, and she had a portion in the book. So I found it, I read it. I learned that she was still alive, so I got connected with her son and different people on Facebook, modern technology. Yeah. And I was able to interview her. Very beautiful spirit. I guess the thing that really stood out to me about her was her heart, and you can hear it when she plays. It's like, no, I'm supposed to have this horn. You're supposed to hear my voice. I learned a lot about her upbringing. Mm-hmm. She grew up in Texas, Denison, Texas, a small town. And her father was sort of like that big cheerleader in her life. And he got her and her brothers opportunities to do music and different things like that. And she was a member of the Prairie View Co-Eds band, which is an all-ladies big band that basically did a lot of playing during the period where the men were sent over in the war. Mm-hmm. So they did a lot of that playing. When she moved to Los Angeles, she was able to, hook up with a lot of those musicians. Dizzy Gillespie. I mean, you can hear him in her playing. Very, very obvious. Yes, very obvious. That was beautiful. It was just, like I said, it really inspired me because, like I said, this is where I'm trying to go and beyond, So it was great to see that shining light.
And my last question for you, what is your favorite food?
All right, I'm a country girl, so I gotta say cornbread. I love cornbread.
Can you find good cornbread up here in New York?
We've gotten close.
Right.
Junior's is pretty. It's not the same. It's a little too sweet. Okay. But it's close.
Well, I think it's time for us to get ready to play a tune. For the audience out there, if you've enjoyed this interview and would like to see other ladies who jazz, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and don't forget to like this video. If you are a lady who plays jazz or know of someone who does and would like to see them featured on this show, please contact me here or on my website, lisalouguitar.com. I also want to give a shout out to Word Up Bookstore here in Washington Heights for graciously letting us do the interview here. Thank you guys so much. I'm Lisa Lou. This is Angeleisha Rodgers. Keep shedding.